Alright, I'm trying to make a video here. I've got a DB30 mini bike, and this is for anybody who decides that, or who's running into problems with their bike not running good. You've kind of cleaned the carburetor, now you can't figure out why it's still running bad, having a hard time starting, or a bad idle or something like that. What you have to do, now your carburetor might be different, but let me show you on this one. What you have to do is look, see way down in there, see that little hole? Well, you have to look for those or any kind of little holes, and look in there real carefully, and what you'll see is the ones that'll have, you can just barely see it, but the ones that have little plastic plugs, I think occasionally they may be metal, but little plastic plugs. What you got to do is you have to pull that plastic plug out. When you go to clean them, you pull that plastic plug out, because there will be an adjustment. There will be another little adjustment in there. But you have to pull that out. Of course, make note of how far it's adjusted out, the little screw, and then go ahead and pull the screw out when you're cleaning it. If you don't take those little plastic plugs out that are hidden, and what it is in order to be like compliant air quality or California compliant, what they do is they adjust the bike to run real lean, and then they put a plug over that adjustment screw so you can't touch it. But when it comes time to clean it, you're going to clean it and not figure out why it's still running bad. And the reason is because you haven't cleaned, you haven't removed that screw and cleaned that either. And that's that you have to clean that. So on your carburetors, just make sure you look everywhere. Look in every little hole, and you'll see on the outside, eventually you'll see that there's a screw that's been covered by a plug, and that's what you want to take out. Pretty much, once you do that, you clean it. So if you've cleaned yours and you haven't figured out why it doesn't seem to be running right still, just look for those little plastic plugs. And that goes for any kind of lawnmowers or anything. I don't know why this video is blurry. It's supposed to be an HD phone, but anyway, sometimes it gets finicky. But that's the little Doodlebug. So far, I've driven it, had it several years, getting to where I'm wearing the back tire off. Chain and everything's holding up pretty good. It's not really rusting. I clean it. I don't let it get real dirty. And I've washed it off and everything. I haven't had problems with any of the rubber deteriorating. The only thing that's even got a little bit of a cracking on it as far as the rubber is that little bolt cover, the threads, thread covers, the thread cover. And that, for some reason, that's just got a little bit of a cracking on it. But it could be that somebody had fallen, because people had fallen on it before, maybe had hit it or something. But other than that, it's held up pretty good, the seat. And this thing's, pretty old. Well, it's probably 5 years old. The paint, you can see, still holding up good if you just keep it kind of clean. And I've had it dirty and ridden it in the water and out in the snow and everything. Let's get around here. But you can see even the stickers, they're all still there. Not having any problem. Let me move this bike over a little bit. Okay, grab that. Found some screws laying down. I had taken a bucket of screws and was looking for something about a week ago, and I just found 2 screws. So, but you can see in there. Let me see if I can get it down in here a little bit better. That's the carburetor. I've got a huge fuel filter on it, because that was the one I had. And some hose, and I just went ahead and used it and went with it. You can see it needs a little bit of washing now. But the back brakes, believe it or not, these mechanical calipers, this back brake works great. A lot better than what I thought. I can actually lock the back brake up, so I'm really happy with that. Overall, I got it for like, it was given to me as a Christmas gift, so it was about 250 bucks. So it worked out pretty good. It was a pretty good buy. And you can see the, the grips are original. They're not cracking and everything. These, they rotate as you're grabbing them and stuff as you're having fun, but they actually stick pretty good. It's hard to rotate them. Don't think I've had any problems. Haven't had to really replace anything. This bag is for the tools. I had a little bag on there. You can see the fender and all that. I'm just surprised that all the stickers and everything are still on there. For being made in China, it's actually had no problems at all. It's been pretty good quality as far as the paint and even the stickers and the rubber, the rubber parts and the electronics. It's gotten really wet. The only problem I had was I had to get that, when I had to clean the carburetor. And this is good for even, any kind of lawnmowers or anything, modern lawnmowers. Look for those little hidden plastic plugs, chainsaws, you name it. If you go to clean the carburetor, make sure you look for those plugs and take all that stuff out so you can unscrew the little screws behind those plugs. Otherwise, you'll think you've cleaned it and put it back together, and it just won't work right. Now this one, I actually disabled the governor on this, but I wouldn't recommend that because I think especially this motor reminds me of the old Tecumseh motors. And the old Tecumseh motors, if you even looked at the governor, it seemed like the motor would blow. But I disabled the governor because it was just a little too slow. It was a little too, they make it so that it doesn't go very fast, and which is really good for, kids first starting to ride their mini bike, learning. But, if you're a little older and whatever, you want it to go a little faster, of course. And so I disabled took my chances because I guess I can afford a new motor. Let's see if I can get around here. But so I disabled the governor. Now I don't really, I don't ride it around like 15 minutes full throttle going, downhill so the engine's over revving. But I have ridden it full throttle for a while and got the engine RPMs pretty high, but I imagine that you will blow the engine if you overdo it, if you take the governor off. But so far I've taken the governor off, and I do have a hill where I'm at, and going down the hill with the clutch engaged, it's taking the engine RPMs way up, higher than if you were going on a flat surface and just had full throttle. But so far it's worked out pretty good, and you can see, the motor, the plastic and everything is just held up. So if you're going to buy a used one or something like that, I don't know about the new ones. I don't even know if they sell this style anymore. I know some of them are pretty big, but this one's, can't say what the quality of the new ones will be, but this has worked out pretty good. All right, but I'm sure some kids or some adult out there who's thrilled to see it just as much as I am. I like the little mini bike just as much as I like the big one. So anyway, that'll do it. The carburetor, if you're having carburetor problems, you can fix it.